FIA WTCC is delivered by DHL.
On board with Ivan Muller as we head around the world champion 10th on the grid for race 2 here in Shanghai, and we'll see if we can listen in to him.
Hello again. I hope you enjoyed the first race. It was tough for me. The performance here. Tom Chilton was faster than me, and in the end he catched me for 100. So well done to him. For the championship as well, he did a good operation. So now, track is more dry. Definitely slick tires. Some part is still wet or damp. It's important to warm up the tires. Open up the brakes as well. Start will be important because the start line is still not dry enough. So I can imagine the BMW behind me, they will pass me at the start. Then I will struggle to repass them, but that's the game. So guys, thank you to be in front of your TV. Enjoy the second race. And I tell you, see you in 2 weeks' time at Macau. I'll give you the microphone. Bye-bye.
Thank you indeed, Ivan. Yes, 2 weeks till Macau, the season finale. And Ivan Muller, Neil Hudson of Touring Car Times just pointing out, hasn't won a race in 3 months. Of course, once you get into the flyaways, you often have 5 or 6 weeks between races. It was 5 weeks from Suzuka to Shanghai, so that kind of accounts for at least one of the months where he didn't even sit in the racing car. Last win for him, race 1 in Argentina, August the 4th. We're now November the 4th. 3rd, 4th, one of those. 3rd, there we go. So everybody on slick tyres. It has not been declared a wet race, so they have no option. You're not allowed to just fit tyres randomly when and if you feel like it. And the 31 cars come to the grid. We only had 30 in race 1. Ted Bjerk did not leave the pit lane in the Volvo. He starts 17th here, but the car very quick in practice, very quick in morning warm-up. And Rob Huff, what's he got in the way of brakes? Starts 3rd on the grid. Richard Coleman, as ever, watching from the bamboo pit wall.
Ivan said the start line was pretty wet there. I mean, it's quite hard to tell from this camera angle, but that could cause some issues.
It could indeed. So, on your right, Thiago Monteiro, the pole sitter. On your left, Gabriele Tarquini, his teammate. We're on board with Tom Coronel, who starts in 12th place. Ivan Muller right in front. And let's see if the BMWs can work their way through. The highest BMWs are 11th and 12th. Engstler on the right and Coronel on the left as you look at it. The other way around as they look at it as drivers, of course. And the final car coming to the grid. Yeah, just about there. So we'll see the green flag waved at the back and the final starting procedure for round 22 of the FIA World Touring Car Championship. On the right, Thiago Monteiro, the poleman. On the left, Gabriele Tarquini. And Rob Huff makes a good getaway as well, looking to try and cut off Norbert Mikulits for 3rd. Tarquini on the inside of Monteiro, who is squeezing, and takes the line into turn 1. Further back, it's 4 wide. Chilton makes contact with Engstler. Darrell Young got a very good start up the middle, and facing the wrong way is Rickard Ryder. It's not right, it is
Coronel and Rydell.
It is, yeah, Rydell sideways there. 2 Valvoline-sponsored cars getting together, the Nika Racing team shaking their heads because they figure that Rydell has got the knowledge and the pace to perform well. Rydell, of course, former factory Seat driver, has had occasional appearances in the World Touring Car Championship since Seat dropped their factory team, but a real quality act. And Freddie Bart, very quick in morning warm-up in that blue BMW. He was 2nd fastest, and he and Darrell Young have shot up the order. Look at that, 8th and 9th on the grid. What a getaway.
As Ivan said, all the BMWs came off the line really well there, and Engstler's up in the mix there somewhere too.
Nash is 5th, Muller is 6th. So I'm not sure what happened to McDowell and Chilton. We saw what happened to Chilton. He had a little bit of contact and dropped down the order. Alex McDowell has, I don't know if they attached an anchor to the car on the grid or something, but it looks like he's gone nowhere fast. Can't even see him as they come
Dasta's made up 10 places off the start there, which he could be a man to watch actually, because in qualifying he broke a drive shaft, but before that he was under Pepe Oriola's time.
Very quick indeed. This long, look at the, you see the racing line there, snaking all the way down the straight. In the background, Tom Boardman trying to make a move. In the foreground, Rob Huff. And Norbert Mikulec defends the inside, so drives out wide. Can Huff get through? He's looking to, little touch between the Chevy and the Honda, the Seat and the Honda, and it is a Honda 1-2. Montero is not going to have an easy ride here. Gabriele Tarquini wants to win another race. He won in Sonoma, he won this year as well, race 1 in Slovakia. It's been a thin season for Tarquini, only 2 race wins. Mikulec hanging on in 3rd, but here comes Nash, looking up the inside. Didn't get alongside Rob Huff, but he's right there, and he's got Muller behind, and that's an added incentive to James Nash to really get on with this, to try and get by Huff before Muller gets by him.
Yeah, Huff's obviously being held up by Michelic's Honda there a little bit, and that's backing everybody else into each other. And you've got a bit of a chain of Chevys before the BMW start coming on strong.
Volvo of Ted Bjerk's gone down from 17th to 21st place. It is Thiago Montero that leads the race from Gabriele Tarquini, the 2 red and white Hondas. There is James Nash in 5th place in the red and blue Bamboo Chevrolet, chasing Rob Huff's red and black Seat, and the orange and black Honda in 3rd. Norbert Mikulec, the Hungarian driver, looked really under stress from Rob Huff on the first lap, but just seems maybe that the Honda has sort of come back onto its tyres a little bit, and he's managed to open up a car length over Rob Huff.
Coronel just made a move on Darrell Young in the background to take 8th place as well, as all that was going on.
Fastest race lap of all from Thiago Montero, fastest first sector of all from Freddie Bart in his BMW in 10th place. So the young Swiss driver really enjoying himself here in race 2. There's Pepe Oriola sniffing around Ivar Muller as Mikulec has to go very deep and defensive, and Rob Huff's going to try and cut back on the inside. Stefano Dasta in the background having a long run down driver's right. He's trying to make a pass on Alex McDowell for 14th and didn't get it done. Tom Chilton just in front of them. And this battle for 3rd place is allowing the Castrol Hondas to run away at the front. And that might save them, because the Chevrolets all through the weekend have had more speed than the Hondas. Oh, and James Nash again as Rob Huff goes wide, Harry. James Nash is trying to take a tight line and look to see if he can get on the inside on the exit of turn 1.
What about Huff? I think if Huff can break through here past Michelich, he could be a threat to the 2 Castrol Hondas.
He could indeed.
And we know how strong that Seat chassis is as well, right till the very last lap.
He's got a great engine, the engine built by Orica, of course, and he'll stay with the same engine manufacturer because the Lada engine built at Manicourt by Orica. So we know that the Lada Granta, whatever else, has got real power in the straight line. Of course, it's going to be a gain for Huff as he goes to Lada next year, a 3rd different chassis in 3 seasons. And he talked about with RML taking first what was the old Chevy called now? I've forgotten what we had before the grid. The Lassetti, that's right. From drawing board to race-winning car, and then the same with the Cruise. Whether Lada can produce the same result next year with a brand new car again, I think they'll be learning as much next year as they have done this year.
You can see, look at Rob Huff's rear wing. It's fluttering around in the airflow there. I don't know whether that's a result of him being in the tow from the Honda, but
again, changeable aerodynamics. Well, not changeable, but changing aerodynamics next year. It's really vibrating away there, isn't it? Pretty flat as well. You can see the effect of this long straight here. I pretty much guarantee that James Thompson has got his wing generating lift if he can down the straight. This is where you need a low drag cut. This is where the Alpha 156 would have cleared off from everything on the planet if they kept it going.
Super fast in the straight line.
It was. Well, we always thought it was all about engine power, and then when Tomo got there, he said, no, it's not about engine power. The engine power is about similar to anything else in the field. It's about low drag. They had the least draggy car you can imagine. He said the thing is just like greased down a straight line.
Coronel, fastest sector one of everybody.
The BMWs, in fact, everybody is closing up on this queue for third. We're with Muller. Muller right behind him has got Oriola, and Coronel is right there as well, just a car length behind Pepe. There he is, in the back of that little group. And then Freddie Bart leading the next queue, has got Chilton behind him, and Hugo Vallant, Stefano D'Aste, Engstler McDowell, Rydell, Boardman.
This yellow flag in the third sector, I think there's one of the Chinese cruisers seems to have pulled off on the outside.
I think so, because it
of
was in sector 2 a little before, so we'll see who it was going very slowly. It was the blue one, wasn't it? And
yeah.
I think that's Felipe de Souza, the blue one with the gold bonnet. I thought I saw a blue car at the side road, and I thought, no, maybe it's a service vehicle. It's certainly not the... it wasn't the Volvo, was it?
No, it's...
Scroll down the timing screen. Don't get enough... When you get a big field, you don't get enough cars on the timing screen. I tell you what it is. It's Geronimo Badaraccio, who didn't even go out in qualifying. I think they've had nothing but trouble with that car, because in fact I think I can see Sousa's car in the background at the end of that queue. So don't know where he's got to at the moment. Oh, and Nash this time is inside half, but there are yellow flags waving. He can't make the move. That's why he got inside. Oh, and Chilton off in the background.
There it is. There's a stricken car.
Well, that was their last lap. So what are the yellow flags about? I mean, they've been past it once. It's nowhere near the racing line. Anybody who goes off there has got more to worry about than Badaraccio's car being stuck out there. Yeah. Now Nash has another look at the Huff.
That's where we've seen the Chevy be so strong in the past. He's just able to tighten the line on the brakes there, and it just got that incredible front end on it.
Yeah, I mean, that has been the story of the Chevrolet. It's got great engine power, there's no question about it. The aerodynamics, as ever you expect with RML, are absolutely superlative. But it's the chassis grip in conditions that... I've said it so many times over the years, the Chevy can turn in tighter than anything else, anywhere. And that is what really makes a driver's life more straightforward. If you can turn tighter than someone, you've got a massive advantage. Nash, though, of course, now, having had a little lunge at Huff, has dropped back into the clutches of Muller once more. I think he's got his fog lights on to annoy Ivan. Oh, and Pepe Oriola drifts very wide out there. Oriola having a little run at Coronel, or run with Coronel, drifted out wide. I wonder if there was contact between them. We didn't see how that started, but Tom has got by Pepe, so he is up to 7th place, and Tom, of course, 12th on the grid, and livid yesterday after qualifying.
Look, D'Aste is on a bit of a charge as well. He's now up into 11th.
Yeah, fastest race lap again for Stefano D'Aste. He's just getting quicker and quicker. Wonder if he used old tyres all the way through and kept fresh tyres for race 2. Oriola having a look at Coronel, not happening. D'Aste coming down the inside under braking. Will go by Darrell Young, and almost side Freddie Bart as well. So D'Aste really flying, and just before the yellow flag. So no yellows on the straight and into that braking area at the end of the straight in turn 14, but then yellow flags to the line.
You've got a feel for D'Aste, actually. You know, like I say, he was on a really good qualifying lap, and you know, it's unfortunate to break the drive shaft.
Ooh, Pepe's going. Just couldn't get enough of an overlap. Tom Coronel, and this is one of the strengths of the BMW, is it really carries the speed into the apex in a way that the front-wheel drive cars don't. The deficit, of course, is that that's the strongest part of the corner, so when they're behind a front-wheel drive car, they get stuck behind the front-wheel drive cars, which then are better off the corner. Yeah. And so we always saw that, didn't we, battling with the diesel Seats. The BMWs would be all over them into a corner and then get left on torque coming off the corner.
It's a bit of a trait of a rear-wheel drive as well. You have to carry a bit more entry speed into it, and you can also use the gearbox to kind of rotate the rear as you're braking into the corner.
Thiago Montero still leading Gabriele Tarquini, still just half a second in it, 0.67 of a second. So Tarquini has not really had a chance to have a look at Thiago, and that's what Montero had to do, take the lead at the first corner and not give an inch. He can't allow a sniff of a mistake, because he's battling Gabriele Tarquini. The man's no fool. He's won multiple touring car championships, and you know, he'll go straight by you as soon as look at you. And James Nash knows exactly the same. what's he like, 3 or 4 times this season he's been in this position, holding off Ivan, wants to win a race. You know, and a couple of times to be on podiums. He knows if you make a mistake, it's all over. The guy behind is too good not to capitalise.
Do you see Ivan's disc glowing there as he turned in? It's quite rare we see that in touring cars, but his disc was actually glowing red.
It's quite rare that we race when it's this dark.
Yeah.
Actually, normally if the headlights are on, you can see they're on, but you don't see a reflection, or it doesn't help illuminate the picture in any way. Here you can almost see the headlights marks on the road rather than just their reflections. And Muller all over Nash again. He's going to have to go the long way around the outside. Oh my goodness, and he is going the long way around the outside. And has he got the skills to hold it? Or has Nash got the tight inside line? See, now we see this in Formula 1 all the time, don't we? If you can get there, you can hold it to the inside of the next corner, and then turn 3. You're gold, you've got it. That tight left-hander, that's where all that hard work and bravery pays off.
What a great move to go right the way around the outside in a touring car there. It's difficult stuff. Obviously, these cars have big, heavy lumps compared to a Formula 1 car with no downforce to speak of anyway. And, you know, that was a great move and well executed.
Yeah, and again, classic Muller stuff. He'd had enough. He'd waited long enough behind James Nash. And Nash, coming on to the start-finish straight, didn't quite have the drive he wanted, maybe just rode the curb a little more than he needed to, and Muller got by, and now he's going. And so Muller now up into 5th position. Next target will be Rob Huff, and for Nash, next target will be to hold off Tom Coronel down the straight.
Yep, Coronel's obviously on a charge as well. He had that little moment at the start where him and Rydell came together, and obviously cost him a little bit of time, but Rydell's dropped significantly down now, down to 17th, so I wonder if he's sustained a bit of tracking damage or something in that touch.
Well, he's 1.4 seconds slower on the last lap than the race leader Tiago Monteiro, Ricard. So yeah, it seems that there's something not quite straight with the car. Long queue of cars here. Mikulits, Huff, Nash, Muller, Coronel, Oriola, and then Dastey's got in front of Bart, and in so too has Chilton, and Darrell Young is trying to as well, and contact, and that's 2 BMWs out of it, and Alex McDowell's race. Oh, come on, he said, give me a break. If you're going to have a crash, could you not do it in front of me?
Yeah.
He loses 2 places, but of course he gained 2 as those guys went off in front. There's Ted Björk, and Freddie Bart is his car all in one piece. It was a little bit uncalled for, unfortunately. Darrell Young's car looks like has lost the left front. Wow, that almost opened up, didn't it, for James Thompson as he went straight through the gap there.
Yeah.
Somebody clipped him at the rear.
That looked like he was struggling with brake fade or something there a little bit. He just... That was unlucky, wasn't it, really, for Darrell?
It was, and actually, and unfortunately, with a rear-wheel drive car, once it starts getting really sideways like that, the throttle doesn't bring it back, you can't drive out of it as you can with a front-wheel drive car. Shrug of the shoulders from Dominic Greiner of Eurosport. Not much you can do about that, I'm afraid. That was 2 drivers, 1 bit of tarmac. Bit of a classic racing incident. Lap 8 of 10 here in Shanghai. Race distance shortened from an original 13 laps. Darrell Young is out of the race, unfortunately, for Royal Motorsport. And nothing yet confirmed, but I do think that we will see Royal Motorsport back in the championship next year, but not with BMWs. Harry, I think we may well see them with Chevrolets, which would be just great to see another strong team. James Nash comes back past Tom Coronel. And Huff with a move on Mikulits. Are the yellow flags in? Yes, the yellow flags are being withdrawn there, so Huff can have a run at Mikulits there, and Coronel can fight back against Nash into the final corner and does so. So we've now got a fully green racetrack for the first time in about 7 laps. I didn't see what happened to James Nash to allow Coronel and Oriola to get all over him, but that's a good 3-way battle, as is this one. Mikulits, Huff and Muller, car number 12. So this is for 3rd place.
Rob must be sick of looking at the back of that Honda. He's been all over them all race, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has indeed. You can hear the vibrations from the curbs there from Ivan's onboard camera. Again, Harry, you talked about these cars being big, heavy old lumps. I mean, that's compared to a Formula One car. They are, of course, much lighter and far more aggressive than any road car.
Yeah, you can see how agile they are going through that little chicane there. I mean, comparatively speaking, compared to a single-seater, they're a big, heavy lump. But, you know, compared to most racing cars, they are actually very light on their toes.
And compared to most road cars, the things will be incredibly brutal. If you have a fast lap in one of these cars, that's Ricardo Riedel on the right, yeah, well spotted. If you have a fast lap in one of these things, you think, oh my God, is this really related to a road car? Well, it is related to, but there's not a lot of road car componentry in it or on it.
It's amazing how stiff these cars are as well, you know, like body roll is almost non-existent. I mean, some really clever technology in the anti-roll bar systems on them now, and, you know, you can see the attitude of the cars. That's
Dastey having a high, wide and handsome moment there as he comes out of turn 13 onto the straight. Dastey up to 9th place. Oriola having a look. He's got by Coronel as well. Looks like Coronel's got the best out of his tyres, or has had the best out of his tyres. Oh, and the car's trying to over-rotate on him there under braking. So he's really pushing hard to try and stay with those two Chevys, but I think the battle is lost. Coronel down to 8th place, Dastey in 9th. They're the two best BMWs. Of course, it looks as though Macau will be pretty much the last hurrah for BMW, certainly as a car with any chance of winning a race. We have not heard that there's going to be any upgrades coming for 2014 for BMW, which means that the cars will be hopelessly off the pace, as much as off the pace as the Super 2000 cars are now against these 1.6 turbos. It's
a real shame, actually, because you'd think from BMW's point of view, it's a fairly low investment to get a lot of cars in motorsport which are already on the grid, and, you know, if they could bring an update package for it, but they don't seem to be interested in it for whatever
Well, as I
reason.
said, we're not hearing anything, and I'm sure the BMW teams in the championship are really asking the question a lot. You know, it's possible, I suppose, that something might come over the winter, and that would be very good news indeed for the championship and for teams that want to race BMWs, but at the moment we have nothing. Last lap, Thiago Monteiro still clear of Gabriele Tarquini, but the Gabriele gave up the ghost early on and is not capable of getting by Thiago. The car just won't let him, or not, is entirely something we'll have to answer afterwards. But Monteiro has kept his teammates off at the start, and on the last lap, 1.2 seconds in front with 2.5 miles to go. Mikulits in third from Huff and Muller, and Nash, Oriola, and then Coronel and Dastey look to be getting a little closer together. In fact, Dastey's not that much closer, is he? Coronel is using the slipstream to close up on the two Chevys in front on your left-hand side, and then the outgoing champion Huff versus the brand new champion Muller. Huffy is hanging on to 4th place, but Ivana's got the drive out of the final corner. It might go to Huff unless Muller can get in front of him. Let's see how that one pays out. It's going to be a 1-2 for Honda. Monteiro wins, Tarquini second. Mikulits will be third, so it's a Honda clean sweep. Huff in 4th. 5th place for Muller. 6th place for James Nash, ahead of Oriola and Coronel. 1, 2, 3 for Honda, a clean sweep in China. And that's really good news for Thiago Monteiro. Double good news this week. They were confirmed, Monteiro and Coronel and Tarquini, as next year's Honda drivers for the factory team. And now he has claimed his first win, the first man to race a factory Castrol Honda, or it wasn't a Castrol Honda last year, was it? First man to race a Honda. He has now claimed his first win, just over a year on from that. So Tarquini won for Honda, first in Slovakia and then won in Sonoma as well. So that is Honda's 3rd win with the factory team, and Norbert Mikulits, of course, also winning in Japan in race 1. A great time for him to choose to win his first race in the Honda. A delighted Thiago Monteiro celebrating victory, the first for this Honda team. He was the first man to race the Honda Civic. At the end of last year, Honda did the final 3 races, Japan, China, here in Shanghai, and in Macau, with a single car entry, because of course Gabriele was completing his program with the Lukoil Seats. And now Thiago who's been, like Gabriele, founding member of this team on the driving strength, gets his win. And you can see how much it means to him, and you can see how much it means to the team as well. It's very, very important, I think, for all of them. And maybe to a degree, Gabriele was a little easier on him than he would have been had Thiago already had a win. You know, I'm not saying that he just let him go, because he certainly didn't, because that's not the way these guys work. But I think Gabriele will be as happy almost as anybody else for Thiago to win. Come on, Gabriele, look cheerful. There you go.
Thiago's had some pretty rotten luck at the start of the season as well, with reliability issues and mechanical problems. So yeah, it's great to see him on the top step of the podium there. Yeah,
I think that's a valid point, actually. If there was bad luck going, it was going his direction. And Gabriele has, you go upstairs as well. So they're going to do both podiums now at the end of race 2. So Tom Chilton's car dragging its bumper.
Good fight.
It was a good fight. And you know, that's what these drivers get into it for in the first place. That's what gets you excited about racing, is a battle with somebody. Let's hear from our race winner.
A fantastic euphoric victory for Honda, and a 1-2-3 led by Thiago Montero. It's been a long, long time since you stood on the top step of the podium.
That's true, yeah. I can't even remember when was the last time. So I went through a tough period for sure in the last few years, and I was hoping for a comeback in the top team. And I'm so happy today, you know. Being part of this Honda project has been a dream come true. It's been an amazing ride, and we improve every time. And yeah, I mean, to have my two teammates behind me was a lot of pressure, obviously. Gabriele didn't make it easy for me. We had to push from the beginning, so it's even more rewarding. I'm very happy for the whole team. They all deserve it. We work so hard. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Mwah.
Was your pace better than you expected? Because the Chevrolets never came.
Yeah, it's true. It's definitely better. I think they probably had some traffic, you know, and I heard they were fighting quite a lot. And so it's probably the reason why they didn't come so fast. Thank you to the others for fighting with the Chevy. And I dedicate this win to my mother.
Thanks very much, Thiago.
There you go, Thiago Montero, congratulations. First race win for Honda, very, very important, and that will hopefully get the bad luck monkey off his back. You can see the light is fading fast here, isn't it? If we'd had another 3 laps in race 1 and another 3 laps in race 2, we might really have needed those headlights on to try and pick out who was who.
The grandstands have emptied fairly effectively as well, haven't they?
And this pretty much it is the last pair of races on the championship. The Chinese Touring Car Championship Production and Super Production Championships both had 2 races here today. Maserati Trofeo as well. And yeah, very pleased indeed for Thiago Montero. To end the season without a win would really have been very tough indeed on him, but a Honda 1-2-3, excellent result. Norbert Mikulits from 4th on the grid, shaking off Rob Huff, and Huffy left to battle with everybody else towards the end of the race. Good runs from Coronel and Daste in the BMWs. And I wonder what we're going to see in the final races of the championship 2 weeks from now in the Chinese province in Macau. The habitual race on the end of the championship on the streets of Macau always produces plenty of close, exciting racing, lots of incidents and accidents. And of course, for a large number of these drivers, we've got a whole bunch of drivers from Macau, and we will have more joining us there as well in the final 2 races of the championship. And then from the hangovers on Monday morning after the gala at the end of the championship, everybody will start really thinking about 2014. If you haven't got your design work done now, you're going to be in trouble all year long, but still there's a lot of preparation work to be done.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how the new format next season pans out, and how the new manufacturers and all the new types of cars. I think it'll reshuffle the whole order of things, and you know, we might not just see the cruisers winning all the time next year. Yeah.
Well, we got Citroën were testing again this week. Jose Maria Lopez was back over testing for them, and again, nothing formal coming out, but it does suggest that we are edging closer to the Argentine coming to the World Touring Car Championship, and it'll be a welcome return to Europe for him. He's been racing in his national championship, the Argentine Touring Car Championship. Of course, his one-off race weekend in Argentina ended up with him winning race 2, a real fairy tale story. The championship has a habit of throwing up one of those every season or so, and that was a classic. So interesting times in Shanghai. A wet, drying race 1 saw tyre gambling make a big difference in who was where. And in race 2, Thiago Monteiro got the job done at the start and then got the job done in the remaining 10 laps as he held off teammate Gabriele Tarquini. Behind him, though, lots and lots of entertainment. Yeah, I would suggest right front on Ricard Rydell's car. Eventually gave up the ghost after that contact. Yeah.
It makes sense because we saw him drop back dramatically after that.
And this unfortunate clash between two BMW drivers that done really well in race 2, Daryl O'Young and Freddie Bart. Neither of them got anything much out of race 2, I'm afraid. Despite its promise in qualifying and practice, Volvo with 1 DNS and 1 15th place result. Chris Cronin and the rest of the RML boys, you see they got the black armbands on, the black armband on the car as well, in memory of late colleague Vinnie Mitchell. Vince passed away losing his battle to cancer recently, and the boys, it's their first race to commemorate him, and they've done a really good job. 1-2 in race 1, RML built cars, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in qualifying. I hope they've got searchlights for the podium. It's looking pretty dark out there. So, coming onto the podium for race 2, Thiago Monteiro, our race winner. See how dark it is when the flash bulbs from the photographers down below have that much of an effect, don't they? Going to be some grainy old shots. Gabriele Tarquini in 2nd place, now gets to congratulate his teammate. A 1-2 for the Castrol Honda team. And the 3rd member of the team, Norbert Mikulits, the Zengo Motorsport team, 3rd place. A clean sweep for Yas Sport Built Cars, so Alessandro Mariani joins them on the podium. And the Yokohama Trophy winner again in race 2 is James Nash. Yeah, phones off on the podium, everybody. Thanks very much for that. So there was the national anthem of Portugal for our winning driver and of Japan for our winning constructor. So our trophies will be presented to our race team quartet, and then the race 1 winners will be brought out onto the podium. Norbert Mikulits, 3rd place for Zengo Motorsport, and Harry Folkard again. You know, it's a small family team, basically really tight-knit little outfit, and they have produced again a race-winning car and driver combination, and really a very strong addition to the Honda armoury.
Yeah, great to see Norbert up there on the podium, and as you mentioned earlier, he's running 3 different manufacturers now, so obviously no slouch in the Honda either.
Second place. Oh, there's the Constructors' Trophy, goes to Alessandro Mariani, the boss of Eurosport. They are the guys that build these World Touring Car Civics for Honda. Cheering being orchestrated there. You should hold up boards, say yay, yay. Second place trophy goes to, Yokohama trophy rather, goes to James Nash. Obviously having communication problems with our graphics production. So there are your winners. James Nash taking maximum points in the Yokohama trophy in both races. And of course, for the runner-up spot in the championship, Tom Chilton won race 1, Gabriele Tarquini second in race 2. Can't imagine that the gap has changed an awful lot between the two. And where was Gabriele in race 1? I haven't got that written down anywhere. And where was Tom in race 2? Of course, he was out 10th place. So I think maybe Gabriele's advantage in second place might just have crept up a little. Although, of course, Tom got 4 points extra for qualifying second on the grid. Gabriele got no qualifying points. There's Zoltan Zengo, a man who liked the company so much he put his name to it. And the tall figure in the background is Gergely. That is Norby's engineer. That pretty much brings proceedings to a halt. When you see the coach going around to pick up the corner workers, you know everybody's clearing off, don't you? James Nash from Michel Nukia and Alex McDowell in third place. McDowell didn't really have the race he wanted here. He was, what, 4th or 5th in the Indies, but with double points going into the pot in Macau, it looks all but certain that he must finish second in the championship. Whether RML can produce the same result in the overall title race with Tom Chilton is going to be one of many questions I think we'll have to answer in Macau. So Harry, some pretty entertaining race. I have to say, race 1, the prospect of starting behind the safety car, I thought, oh dear, this could end up being really quite dull for the fans, but actually it turned out to be a bit of a zippy race, and race 2 just as much entertainment for them to watch, I think.
Yeah, race 2 was great, well, so was race 1, but yeah. It's always exciting when you have a tyre combination choice, and it's a bit of a curveball that gets thrown into the mix, and you know, it's always exciting stuff.
It's funny, isn't it? On Grand Prix circuits, you think these things are going to get lost and it'll just be a long procession. Actually, the longer and faster the tracks are, habitually, the better. If you think of a track that always produces great racing, one of the first things you think of is, oh yeah, Monza.
Yeah.
And you know, you get a long slipstreaming straight, makes a big difference. Our race 1 winner, Tom Chilton, for RML Chevrolet. And we will have the British national anthem for our race 1 winning driver. And the anthem for our race-winning manufacturer, Chevrolet. So again, in memory of Vinny, black armbands and a black armband on the car for the RML Chevrolet team. James Nash, third in race 1, and the Yokohama Trophy winner. Second for Ivan Muller. Led most of the way, but it was Tom Chilton that got by him in the final corner and took victory. And Tom said he had to work for it. Of course, RML have previous with drivers getting penalised for dropping back in races on the menu. So we won't even suggest that that was remotely the case. Certainly, there was a few times where we thought Ivan might have let Tom Chilton by, where he clearly shut the door very determinedly.
Yeah. But
looked like Tom's car was just a little bit better. For Bamboo Engineering, the Yokohama Trophy driver's title gets closer and closer for James Nash. And again, Alex McDowell just having a bit of a rubbish time with the luck here, I think, this weekend.
Yeah, he's had a few weekends, hasn't he, where it's just been in the wrong place at the wrong time.
And do you know what? You know, when you're Tom Chilton and you're racing Ivan Muller, who's, you know, looking for his 4th World Championship title, as well as British titles, French titles, and yada, 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 that's one thing. But for Alex and for James in the Bamboo cars, pretty much it's luck that's going to decide which of two fairly equal drivers in very equal cars is going to end up on top. We see this so many times in sport. You know, you get two really equal drivers or really equal competitors, and it is the luck of the green that can sometimes just decide which one of them will be getting the title and the wins.
I mean, it's a little bit cliche, but it's obviously one. It's so true to win a championship. It's, you know, you've got to have the skill, you've got to have the car, you've got to have the team, you've got to have the luck. Everything has to be going your way. It
has to be everything. You're right. If any element is missing, that's it. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, being fast isn't good enough.
Well, I saw it many years in rallying with Richard Burns. You know, he'd have offs and he'd be out of the rally. Marcus Cronin would have an identical kind of an off, and it would, he just escaped, luckily, you know. And the year that Burnsy had the luck and you know, got away with those little incidents, that's the year that he won the World Championship. And, you know, the potential is always there, and you can see that again with Alex. The potential to be where James is going into Macau is there with Alex, just didn't have the rub of the green. And sometimes, I know racing drivers love to say you make your own luck. To a degree you do, and to a degree experience helps you keep out of the unlucky situations. But sometimes Lady Luck has to decide one of two equals is going to come out on top. So that brings us to the end of the penultimate race weekend of the World Touring Car Championship under these regulations. Of course, new rules coming in for next year, new format, new look cars for 2014. But first we have the grandstand season finale that every championship will hope for, going to Macau for the 60th Macau. Is that 60th Macau Grand Prix? I think it is. Big anniversary of Macau anyway. And the World Touring Car Championship, the longest, most difficult and arguably most dangerous track that they race on in the season, will be our final port of call. 2 weeks from now, we will be in Macau for rounds 23 and 24 of the World Touring Car Championship. So it remains to say thanks very much indeed to Harry Folkar for joining me again in the booth for Words of Wisdom this weekend. Thanks to Ben and to all the guys on site in Shanghai, again producing great stuff. And we look forward to your company for Macau 2014. Until then, from rounds 21 and 22, it's goodbye from Shanghai. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time.